So in this video, we will learn the AWS hands-on practice and proper lab session. And for this, we will open the console.aws.amazon.com. So I'll open AWS console.amazon. So you can click on that and then open for the proper credentials. I'll use root user. If you are having subordinate user or any other authorization, you can go to the IAM user, but as of now I will use it login with root user and my login is something different. And then I'll enter my password. All right, so it's asking for the MFA, so multifunctional authentication. So for this we need the means Google app or Android app from where you have given the authorization. So I have given authenticator for my uh, Android app, so it's giving 801580 as a code. So you may have different code, and for the third party authentication as a root administrator. So here I'm having the free tier for 1 year. You can have you can activate yours. Then I'm going to change my area so that I can have the less means delay and less communication delay. All right, so I'm going to, because I'm living in Delhi, so this would be nearest data center Asia Pacific Mumbai AP South 1. So I'm going to change that center, and then I'm going to change my. All right, so once we have login with the proper login, so what we are going to do, we are going to create the instance and assign a name here. So what we are going to do, we will click on the services, and on the services we are going to click on compute. So you can see it giving the AWS app runner and so many other services are there, but you make sure which services you are going to use. So I'm going to use virtual servers in the cloud. I'm going to cover EC2, that is the elastic computing cloud. So for this, you will have to create a particular instance. So for this, we are going to click on instances. You don't have an instance, or you can click on the instance EC2 dashboard. So on the left hand side, you will see that instances, and you are going to create a new instance. Then you just click on the right hand side, you can see that launch instance. You just click on the launch instance, and then uh, it will lead to the launch instance page. And when we will drop down menu, you will have to see that there is a name and the text. For this, we will write web server 1. So this is our web server 1, and we are going to create that web server 1 as instance. Then we are going to have application and OS image. So this is means like choose an AMI for which you are want to create the list. Quick start AMI, keep the default Amazon Linux AMI selected. So there are so many other operating systems existing, pay on demand or free of cost, including the free tier. You can choose according to your applications, but as of now I'm choosing Amazon Linux. So Amazon Linux 2, it's AMI Amazon Machine Image. It's a free tier eligible. You can choose another means another deep learning algorithm and deep learning another instance as well for another applications, but as of now I'll choose the certain. The type of Amazon machine image you choose determines the operating system that will run on the EC2 instance that you launch. In the case you have chosen Amazon Linux 2 as the guest, operating system. Choose an instance type. Then we are going to choose an instance type. So there are so many instance types like T2, T2 small, T2 medium, and accordingly you can have the CPU central processing unit, graphical processing unit, uh, tensor processing unit, GB, 4 GB memory, and so on. So you can see the money or the amount USD per hour and on-demand license pricing are written here. It's a per hour price and you can choose accordingly. So as of now, we are keeping the same T2 dot micro, and then we are going to choose a key pair. So the instance defines the hardware resource. Here it is written, instance defines the hardware resource assigned to the instance. This instance type has one virtual central processing unit and 1 GB of memory. Next, we are going to choose a key pair. So select the key pair to associate with the instance, and key pair name menu, select Waki. You can create your own here. In the upcoming session, we will create our new new new. So we will choose Waki. If it is not there, then proceed with the default value. All right. Then you can have network setting. So in the network settings, we are having we are going to choose edit on the right hand side. That will change the network setting, VPC, virtual private cloud. All right. So you can have the virtual private cloud, so VPC and subnet setting. Also keep the auto assigned public key. So if you can see that we are having like any other, like create subnet, masking this one, and auto assign public IP. So this is public IP we are going to keep enabled. The network indicates the virtual private cloud you want to launch the instance into. You can have multiple networks, for example, one for develop and second for testing and third for production. So you can have the means you can keep auto assign the public IP. You can keep enabled by default, right? Then we are going to come under firewall security groups, which is keep the create security group, keep the by default, add rules to, we will have the same rules here, and then configure a new security group. All right. So we are going to create that new security group, create a new security group, and then clear the text here and just click web server. Just click the name of your, change the name of this group, and under description you just click the or you can erase all these texts and enter security group for my web server. So this is security group, and choose choose remove to remove the default SSH. I'm going to remove that. You will configure a different endpoint rules in this lab. A security group acts as a virtual firewall that controls the traffic for one or more instances, right? When you launch an instance, whenever we launch an instance, you associate one or more security groups with the instance. You add rules to each security group that allow traffic to come to or from its associate instances. You can modify the rules for security groups at any time. The new rules are automatically applied to all instances that are associated with the security group, right? But as of now, we are not going to include that group. Then we are going to configure storage. So this is the storage, your type instances, and you will launch Amazon instances, your elastic block store, and another disk volume. So this is all about. And then we are going to have, you can have the SSD format also, general purpose SSD, and 8 GB in size, and so on, right? So then we are going to cover this advanced details. So in this advanced detail, you just drop it down and just click the user data. So what what is the user data here? So here data your, I'll write yum update, right? So yum update is going to update, and I'm going to make it true. All right. Then I'm going to second line that is yum update, that is true, and going to install httpd. All right. So this is the http, and then system. Then we are going to perform system t l system control, and then going to enable that system with httpd. All right. Similarly, we are going to copy this line and going to paste it here, and we are going to start uh, that that action, that trigger. We are going to trigger that, and then what we are going to echo, this is echo something, and we are going to perform that HTML site. So this is HTML code, and then we are going to add that HTML tag here. So whatever you will write will be displayed on the screen. So we are going to write one header. So we know that for header we are going, we use h1 h2. So I'm going to close that h1, and in this hello to aim tutorial, hello to code with Christy. So that's my header name, that would be my header name, and I'm going to cover that, and I'll write it like war slash www dot www slash html dot index html slash index dot html, right? So this bash script will run with root user permissions on the guest operating system of the instance. It will run the automatically when the instance launch for the first time. So the script, so first what is going to happen? So first it is going to launch, like update the server. All right. So first line is going to update the server. Then it is going to install Apache web server. Here we are going to install Apache web server HTTP. Then configures the web servers to automatically start and boot. Here you can see the start and boot can have. So activates the web servers. Here you can see that activates the web server here and creates a simple web page over. Okay, that's it. I am going to copy this so that I don't have to write again and again, type again and again. Then I'm going to go summary. You can have here summary, and then click on launch start. That's it. We are going to launch our first EC2 first instance. So at the bottom you will see summary panel, and right side choose screen, and then we will have the instance that will appear in the pending state. If you will go to the EC2 dashboard, you can see that instance is running. It will be in the instance running or the initialization and so on. So if you will see the 2 upon 2 instead of a status check, you will 2 upon 2, then you will have the particular complete processing of this. Select the web server. Once it is completed, it is not initializing. Keep refreshing. Keep refreshing. After 5 seconds it will change the status check, and then you will have to click on web server 1 instance and review the information in the details tab. That this, please just click on here, and here you can see the details tab and display in the lower panel. So notice that the public IP4. So here we have public IP4 address, which is going to provide something. So once we have status 2 upon 2, okay, I'm going to refresh again. It's not still there. Meanwhile, we can change the network setting. So what is the network setting? So go to the network setting and I'm going to click security group and click EC2 console, manage network second, click on security groups and select the create security. All right, right. So here we are having security groups. Okay. So, okay. So yes, it is correct. Now we are going to click on security and inbound rules. We are going to click on inbound rules. We are having security and we are going to click on networking here, and then we are going to click on networks, security groups, and click on create EC2 network security groups, and just click on group C. Okay, click on refresh. EC2 management console and click on security groups. Yes, it is here. It was hidden down. So web server, click on security groups and then click on web server and just go to the server and just go to the inbound rules and then click on inbound edit inbound rules. You can add rule and just go to the custom. Instead of custom TCP, we are going to create HTTP here. So HTTP here, and then we are going to create custom, and then source is O upon O, and then click it, and then we are going to have type as HTTP anywhere IP version 4, and then we are going to save rule. The new inbound HTTP rules creates an NTP 0.0 and IP version 6 at 6. All right, then save rules. You can have these save rules here. Then coming back to the EC2 instances, and inside the EC2 instances, just click on this and click on public address and copy this address and paste it in new folder, and you can see that it's going to open here, right? If it is not open there, then check your privacy and check open address, the whether that it is open or not, right? So return to the tab, refresh the page, just refresh the page, click here again, dashboard, instance running. Okay, one instance running, click here and just copy this code, open a new tab and click here, right? So you can see this is the IP address where we should have the particular rule and particular test. All right, so we are going to convert that web server. So again, one more time, we are going to click on security groups, whether it has been submit or not. Yes, open or click group. Okay, and click on inbound rules, TCP, TCP. So it should be like update the security group. All right. So edit inbound rules again, HTTP, and if you will copy that code and print it somewhere, so it's HTTP. Okay, not showing again, so you just click on HTTP again, port number, custom, anywhere, IP version 46, and then save rules. If you will save rule, then save rules, right? Then EC2 again, so instances, and then refresh, refresh again, click, and public IP address, click on new site and click here, right? Just click here, your site or your network should be here, right? That's it. We can print or open a new address. You can have your website here. So it's a HTTPS. So obviously if you enter HTTPS, then coming back to the network security groups, then click on this inbound rules and edit inbound rules. Instead of HTTP, I'll choose HTTPS here, and then inbound rules and edit inbound rules here. The IPv version 4, and then save rules, and then click on HTTP is EC2 dashboard again, and then copy this address, Control V, and enter. Okay, V. So it may time because sometimes server is not connected with the cloud server, and sometimes it is not connected. I'm going to copy this again, IP address, V, enter. Sometimes if it is public IP address, okay, I will check it again, then you will see the website name or any other site. Thank you.